We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. Pick in the draft.
Matt, where's Jeff at?
I'm pretty sure he's still staring at the TV screen waiting for the Steelers offense to do something.
Oh, well, you should probably have, checked on him.
Well, I didn't want to bother him.
The game was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty atrocious.
Wasn't it the most, the biggest, differential that we've had in, since I don't know how long? It was 80s or before that?
It might have been before that. I forget what it was. It was a long time.
Yeah.
It was a very long time.
It was way before you, me, or Jeff were alive.
Yeah. And it gave us hope in the beginning. The Bills muffed the kickoff, and they ended up at the 1, and we're like, we got them. It's 3rd, and they're on the 1. And fuck Gabe Davis.
Yeah. Yeah, the 1 week that I decide in my fantasy league, or I think it's our fantasy league, to not start him, he freaking goes off.
Yeah, and it was like, all right, that was bad, but we expected this from the Bills. Let's go see what Kenny Pickett can do. Oh, we can fumble it. We can fumble our own kickoff return. And then it's really took the spark we saw last week out of the team, I think.
Yeah, it completely deflated us.
Hopefully this is rock bottom.
I hope so. I really hope we don't go. There's not a game where we don't score anything. Oh man, I probably just jinxed it.
Yeah,
we're gonna get murdered by the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see us winning a game before the bye week, especially with TJ Watt going to surgery.
Yeah,
on his knee.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had that. I didn't know he had an issue with his knee.
Yep. Do you want to dwell on this game, or should we just go beer crack and then move on?
Well, I did want to pull one thing up here real quick at request of Jeff, since he wasn't able to get out from his TV. But of course, I didn't have it pulled up and ready to go. But he wanted me to just bring this up. Remember your boy Deontay Johnson last year? He's not doing so well.
I'm going to talk about that later in the show, actually.
All right. Well, guess I should have waited, huh?
He has not been playing that bad.
He hasn't, but he's also been dropping it again.
I think he struggles where Claypool excels on a quick slant pass across the middle, and he can use his body to catch the ball. Claypool excels. Deontay Johnson's a smaller guy. He's afraid of getting hit, so he really shouldn't be in the middle of the field. He should be on the outside where you can see him make amazing catches. And are we counting he just barely doesn't get his foot in as a drop? Are we counting?
No, I'm not.
He hasn't dropped that many passes this year.
I feel like he dropped a few last week.
I don't recall seeing him drop passes last week.
I think he did.
Yeah, well, I'm going to turn the game on and wait to see if he drops a pass.
All right. Well, we'll be here for 3 hours, folks.
It's a 3-hour show, y'all. Jeff didn't think it was going to be that long because he wasn't on, but we're here to prove him wrong.
All right. Well, we don't have to watch the game. All right. All right. Let's just get into your beer crack player of the week.
All right. The beer crack player of the week is James Daniels.
Ooh.
Yeah. James Daniels. He came to our quarterback's rescue after a cheap shot. And I think we're going to talk about unnecessary roughness on quarterbacks a little bit, where maybe one shouldn't have been called and one definitely should have been called.
Yeah.
But luckily, our offensive lineman was there to have his back.
Well, let's crack a beer for him. I definitely
James
like.
Daniel. At least he had a little bit of spark left in him.
Yeah, I definitely like that he came to the rescue of Pickett.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he got flagged for it, but I don't see how the refs throw a flag for that, but not for a late hit. I mean, he slid. He was mid slide, and he doesn't call it.
Yeah, but I said this during the game, and I thought you'd agree with me. But you think it's because he did the fake slide last year?
I didn't think that fake slide would don't fucking do that. Don't do that. But that was college. This is pro. I figured everyone kind of forgot about it.
Maybe it was in the back of his mind, though.
I don't know. That's kind of part of what I think's really hampered the Steelers this year is, again, I think I said this earlier in an earlier show, but the Steelers don't fight for like penalties when they're getting held. When the pass rush is just getting tackled or getting freaking chokeholded on their rush, and when receivers are just getting pushed around, and then why wasn't Kenny Pickett getting a flag for a late hit? Any other quarterback would have got that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was Brady, he immediately would have got a flag.
And I don't see the Steelers talking to the refs. Not throwing a fit. Don't throw a Bill Belichick on the sideline. I'm not looking for that. I'm just, he's holding me every damn time.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw it in the London game. Rodgers a couple times was like talking with the refs after something he saw he didn't like.
Yeah, you got to talk to the refs. I mean, just point their attention to something that you think is wrong. Maybe they'll explain it away to you. Or maybe they can't look at the whole field all the time. They can act like they do, but they can't.
Yeah. But that one was like right there, though. It's not like it was that should have been called roughing the passer.
Especially if you're going to call plays like on Monday night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was running, wasn't he? So it wouldn't have been roughing the passer. It would just been like a
unnecessary
roughing.
Well, when a quarterback slides and he slid back, you can't hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't tackle him at that point. I think that was one of those rookies have to earn their stripes, and apparently Derek Carr earned all his stripes. Can't even touch him.
Yeah, you can't touch Derek Carr even when you have the ball in your hand.
I know why they called that penalty, but because he didn't move off to the side.
That's so stupid, though.
He didn't give any pillow talk when he was slamming him into the ground.
But I mean, at that point, he had the ball in his hand.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I think that, if you don't want to play football, don't play football.
Right.
Just have a podcast about playing football.
That's what we do.
Yeah, if you're afraid to get hit, maybe this ain't for you. There's plenty of people who are willing to get hit.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm sure that towards the end of the season, we'll all forget about it. Probably will calm down, but right now it just seems a little ridiculous.
Anytime that call happens, it's ridiculous. They did say that they're going to review the quarterback roughing the passer penalty. What is roughing the passer, I guess.
And when to call it and stuff, probably.
Yeah, because, I mean, you see, it happens. It always happens a couple times a year because it's technically a penalty if you hit their helmet. And you've seen people, accidentally flick their helmet and get 15-yard penalty. And that's just way too big of a penalty for something so minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing if I understand, quarterback is supposed to be the most important position on the field. It's the most overpaid for sure. And if you throw a ball and then someone takes 3, 4, 5 steps and just kills your quarterback and takes out, half your salary cap because you don't know how to manage salary cap, and it just tanks your whole season, I can see how that happens. I can see why you want to stop that.
Right.
Also, there's no need. Quarterbacks keep themselves out of the play after they throw the ball 95% of the time. So why you don't need to hit them. You don't need to drive them into the ground.
Right.
But if they're trying to run, and then at the same time, don't have the protection where you can't touch them in the pocket, and then have the quarterback slide rule. I just want consistency.
I feel like there's not consistency.
It's never consistent. Yeah, I'd rather just treat quarterbacks as players. But, if Derek Carr's going to get 15 yards for getting tackled with a clean tackle, I think Kenny Pickett should get 15 yards for a late hit.
Right.
It's not. They're not being consistent.
That definitely is not consistent. What do you think about Pickett then? The other play when he got hit low.
Yeah, got back up and not afraid to. He's a scrappy guy. You know who else was a scrappy guy? Hines Ward. A little bit of Hines Ward rubbing off into Kenny Pickett, man. It's almost like he's had a legacy in this league.
Yeah.
Almost like a Hall of Fame legacy where you can constantly pull back to him.
Yeah. Every episode is gonna have a circle back to Hines Ward.
Look, Jeff likes to circle back to Fire Matt Canada. I'm gonna circle back to Hines Ward should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, we can always circle back to Fire Matt Canada.
Was he even the problem this week?
I don't think so. I mean,
system failure.
It was complete. You're right, complete system failure. But I mean, he was part of that system, so
yeah, okay.
So yes, we should just tie it back to him, anyways.
I don't like to give a scapegoat when everybody else sucks too.
That's true. Didn't we? How many didn't we jinx Boswell too? Didn't you jinx Boswell? Didn't he miss?
Yeah, Boswell was 1 of 3.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can't jinx a freaking. I don't know. Apparently, I'm just jinxing everybody with these beer crack players of the week. So I don't know how an offensive lineman's gonna.
Tony, stop. Just stop. Just stop.
This could get bad. I don't know.
Maybe we should just stop the beer crack player of the week. If he
I thought I was safe with ice, but it has literally been hitting 80.
Heat wave.
Yeah, we got an October heat wave since I've been beer crack player of the week ice. Yeah.
So if he goes down or something happens to him against the Bucks, I think
if he turns into like a turnstile next week, I don't know what.
We're scrapping the beer crack player of the week, and we're not doing it ever again. Just like Jeff's predictions last year.
Yeah, Jeff's bold predictions.
Yeah.
All right.
What did you think about the London game?
I think we are the Giants for real for one. I think the Giants.
I think with Daboll as their coach, it's. I said this a couple episodes ago, but it is really crazy what a new coach can do for a team because they didn't have much turnover. If anything,
that's what people are saying. They have a terrible roster, and the only thing that changed is the head coach.
Yeah,
which kind of brings me because I get a lot of shit for saying it's time to move on from Tomlin, but sometimes all it takes is a new head coach. Just somebody new. I mean, sometimes the system gets stale.
Right.
And I always look at Philly. Just go across the state and look at Philly. Is Andy Reid a bad coach? No. Did he get fired from Philly?
Yes.
Did Philly win a Super Bowl after that?
Yeah.
did the Chiefs win a Super Bowl with Andy Reid?
Yep.
It can work out for everybody. Doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Right.
And I really think we're in a position where there's still enough respect in this league for Tomlin that you could trade him for, easily a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, and I feel like everybody outside of the Steelers fan base like respects Tomlin and like really likes Tomlin.
Yeah, the people that are really close to him are starting to see through his cracks.
Yeah.
And part of me thinks it's just sometimes you got to move on. I think sometimes, when you try at something for so long, sometimes you got to walk away. And I think that's where we're at with Tomlin. Andy Reid was not a bad coach, but he should have walked out with Donovan and McNabb. When McNabb left, Andy Reid should have left. Head coach tenures typically don't go past one quarterback. You're kind of seeing the same thing with Belichick right now. He's struggling to get another quarterback.
Right.
There isn't a lot of head coaches that have had two quarterbacks.
Two quarterbacks and they did well.
Yeah, to have one head coach and two franchise quarterbacks, it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you go to a whole new team.
Right.
Because then Andy Reid had McNabb, and now he has Mahomes.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a coach that had more than.
Yeah, go ahead and think about it, man. I mean, it just doesn't exist.
Well, what about
maybe Harbaugh?
What?
Maybe Harbaugh?
What about McCarthy? He had Favre. Didn't he have Favre and Rodgers?
No.
I mean,
yeah.
He didn't have Favre? Yeah, he did.
Wait, when was Mike Holmgren? Wasn't Holmgren the head coach?
Wasn't Holmgren the head coach for Seattle when we played them in Super Bowl 40?
Yeah, but wasn't Holmgren the head coach in Green Bay for most of Favre's career?
Yeah.
Because then Rodgers was gone, and Rodgers was the starter in what, 06, 07?
Yeah. All right.
So
he mostly had Rodgers.
Yeah, McCarthy so aside from tailing the end of a career, yeah, I'm saying, 10 years.
With a good, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. John Harbaugh might be it.
And you're considering Joe Flacco as an elite quarterback. I mean, he had an elite postseason when he wanted paid.
Yeah, and also he had an elite defense as well.
And an elite running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a team around him, and then he got paid, and it all fell apart. Much like Lamar Jackson will fall apart also the second he gets paid.
I mean, we're seeing Aaron Rodgers struggle.
Yep, Aaron Rodgers is struggling. I think this week the struggles came by, and I think it's making the pick'em really hard this week. How much of that was traveling to London? Because they're saying they want to add 4 teams and make a London division.
Wow.
And that is a logistical nightmare because it sucks to be an East Coast team and go to London. That's 5 hours.
What if you're a West Coast team and going to London?
Now you got 8 hours? Now you're like, which way do I fly? When you start looking at the map and you're just like, which way do I go? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Do you think the buys would be more strategic then?
They used to be. If you played in London, you went to buy the next week. But they don't do that now. I mean, now they'll send a team to London and make them play Thursday night for all they care.
Would it be better? Would it be better to have the buy before London or after London?
I think as long as probably after.
After.
I think it's always easier to fight through something and then adjust back.
True.
But that's kind of what I'm looking at, So typically the Packers are a team that doesn't lose 2 games in a row because Aaron Rodgers isn't that kind of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost to the Giants, and maybe the Giants are good. But now they play the Jets. Are they still jet lagged? And the Jets just put up 40 points. So the Packers, did I say are the Jets still jet lagged?
No. You said the Packers still jet lagged.
Yeah. I mean, they might be getting double jet lagged.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they'll lose to the Jets. But then again, the Jets are.
The Steelers are not playing well. But we got blown out by the Bills, and is Zach Wilson good? 2 weeks in a row now, Zach Wilson has looked good.
Right. I guess we'll see.
I think this will be the big test. I mean, I think if they can beat Green Bay here, and I think this game's a lot closer. We'll get to it when we go down the bet list, but it could definitely be an upset. It could be a major upset.
Yeah. Yeah, I had trouble picking that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, are there any other games you want to talk about from last week?
Of course there are. Let's talk about the Jaguars. Jaguars play the Texans. 1 week we already know they have the Colts number, but then they come back the next week and they look good too. And you think Trevor Lawrence is finally putting it together. Maybe Christian Kirk was actually a good free agent signing. And then you put up 6 points against the Texans. What are the Jaguars? Are they ever going to put it? At one point, we're like, maybe the Jaguars are going to win this division.
Yeah.
And now we're like, they're going to come in last.
Yeah.
They went full Ricky Bobby. Like,
if you ain't first, you're last.
And then we're just move on. The Lions. What happened to the offense?
Yeah, where'd the offense go? They were the number one scoring offense, and then they score what?
0.
Nothing. They score nothing.
Like, all right, we know they're not a great team. They bit their own kneecaps off. And I know the Patriots have a good defense, but shit, you couldn't score a point?
Yeah.
Even the Steelers scored a point.
Yeah, we scored a point. We scored 3.
We could have scored 9.
Yeah, we could have scored.
And just to circle back to that game, people were shitting on Tomlin for kicking field goals when we're down by a bunch. We only kicked field goals after it was like very apparent that we were not going to convert.
Yeah.
So as much as shit as I give Tomlin, I don't blame him for like, maybe we can just get 3 more points and show that we do understand that the idea of this sport is to score points.
Oh, man.
We already talked about the Jets. I mean, putting up 40 points against the Dolphins. I thought their defense was going to show up. I know, you don't know who their quarterback is anymore because Teddy Bridgewater got out.
Literally, after the first play of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he scored 0 points for Jeff's player of the week.
Player of the week, baby.
But yeah, I mean, how can you God, Jeff sucks at picking players.
That just came back into your head. You can't get it out.
It's so bad.
No, maybe this week will be better for him. Maybe this week will be better.
Maybe.
I mean, to be fair, you had a similar situation on your pick.
Yeah, my pick would have turned it around a lot better had that concussion not knocked him out of the game.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that though. Josh Allen, he got his head slammed against the ground early in that game. And you're not wishing injuries on people, but if we're gonna take concussions more seriously, that's something you get pulled out of the game for.
Right.
We've seen that a ton of times where you pull players out of the game after they get their head slammed against the ground.
Yep.
Especially after the announcers bring it to their attention. So yeah. shady shit going on. High dollar quarterbacks get a pass.
Yeah, they do.
Cardinals suck at home. Never forget.
Never forget.
That's all I gotta say about that. Cowboys, is Cooper Rush the real deal?
I don't know, man.
How do you put Dak Prescott back in?
You can't put Dak in until Cooper Rush loses.
I mean, they got 40 million reasons to put him back in, but
I know, but you can't. You can't, I know it's 40 million reasons, but
because what happens when Dak Prescott comes back in? If they start him next week and they lose, you cause yourself a shitstorm.
Yeah, but if Cooper Rush loses and then you put Dak in and then Dak loses, then it's not so bad.
I remember a game a couple years ago, probably a lot of years ago now, because Landry Jones was the backup quarterback. So Ben was hurt, and they were like, he could play, but we don't want him to play. So they put him in the backup, and they had Landry Jones start. And Landry Jones sucked so bad, Ben was like, yo, you're going to take a fall so I can get back in this game. Maybe they do the same thing. Not necessarily, but put Dak Prescott in as a backup and say he's still healing, but if he had to go, we'll roll with him.
Right.
And then it kind of gives you the option, like you're not hiding him on the injury report. You're not trying to hide anything. You're just like, we're gonna make sure his hand's completely healed before we put him back in.
Right. I heard though that he's still not able to like grip a ball. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I know Dak Prescott is. I heard he was throwing though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 50-50. Depends how the hand feels that day. I know he wants back in because you can. I mean, Tony Romo replaced Drew Bledsoe as an undrafted free agent. Dak Prescott replaced Tony Romo as an undrafted free agent. That heat's gotta be hot. That's
yeah.
You feel that as Dak Prescott, like, well, I already know what'll happen here.
I did it to Tony.
Yeah.
Now look where Tony Romo is. He's in the box with Jim Nance.
Look, it could be worse. I don't know.
Where's Drew Bledsoe?
Well, let's not talk about that one. He rode off into the sunset.
Yeah.
They took him up to the farm. I don't know. I've never seen him after that.
Oh man.
But so is Cooper Rush good, or are the Rams? Do they just suck?
I don't know. The Rams have not looked like the Rams last year.
Well, I think the Rams need another receiver.
They do.
Because Allen Robinson is the most overrated fantasy player I've ever heard. Because all I've ever heard is people say that he's going to break out and that you should draft him really high. And I'm like, I'm going to wait for him to do something. I've been waiting for years.
Yeah, and I mean, and then they're like, well, it's because he's in the Bears. He's with the Bears. If he goes with another team, he'll be better.
He had like 2 good games with the Jaguars, and then yeah.
I actually forgot that he was originally with the Jaguars.
Dude's been around for a long time, fucking selling this fantasy facade that he is a great wide receiver, that he's going to put up 25 points a game, and he just doesn't.
Right.
Maybe they should give OBJ a better contract offer if the Rams want to have any chance at repeating the Super Bowl.
When is OBJ able to come back, or is he?
Oh, I think I saw something like week 8.
Week 8.
Yeah. The Rams made a contract offer. It just wasn't enough for OBJ. So I think he goes back to the Rams.
Probably. I
don't know the Bills, because like it was the Packers, the Rams, and the Bills. The Packers offered him vet minimum last year. They might be a little more desperate this year. The Rams apparently offered him too little this year. And I'm thinking the Bills are looking at their team like, the hell do we need OBJ for?
Right. Because they're doing pretty damn well without him.
The only thing I can think of is Isaiah McKenzie can't stay healthy. Gabe Davis is a little streaky. I mean, he's hella hot, and then he can get cold as shit real quick. Maybe they bring him in for a little consistency.
Hey, why doesn't he come to the Steelers?
We got George Pickens. We're good.
That's not our problem. Our problem is I don't know, everything else.
We got receivers.
We have receivers. Hey, so we're circling back. I don't think Pickett did bad.
He got a lot of yards. It just seemed to always stall out. And part of me thinks that's kind of play calling.
Yeah.
You're not
Didn't
calling
see anything. I mean, I know he threw that pick. But
you know what? Part of me thinks it's play calling. But also, once you get into the red zone, 30 or 20 yards out, that field defenders are a lot more
right
prevalent. You can't stretch the field where you spread out the defense. So he might have got a little gun shy there because nobody was really open.
Right. I just didn't see anything too terrible with him. I mean, it wasn't,
It was a solid showing.
It wasn't like how Ben came into the league.
No. It was a good bet line, too, for FanDuel had him throwing for 200 yards. And I think that was a pretty stupid decision on their part because what was everybody saying? They're going to get blown out. What happens to teams that get blown out? They start chucking the ball. Yep. What were you going to do? Bench the young guy? No, you put the young guy in when you're getting blown out. Which is why I picked Freiermuth, and Freiermuth probably would have ended up with a good 10 to 15 point performance had he not gotten that concussion. Just like George Pickens was getting a good performance because he was getting those trash time picks. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on when we do our fantasy players. But moving on, Bengals Ravens. The Ravens are supposed to have a high-powered offense. What happened to that?
The past 2 weeks, that made the teams have made Lamar look kind of human.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the Steelers have shown the blueprint of how to stop Lamar. I've done it on this show. Yeah, I've done it on this show like 3 or 4 times now. You just play contain with your outside rushers and just crowd the middle of the field because it stops the run game. It doesn't let him escape. It stops the run game, and he struggles to throw to the sidelines. He's a good player. His weakness is throwing from the pocket to the sideline. Maybe every team's figured that out. I think Lamar probably should have taken that contract he was offered. Because if more teams are figuring that out, he's going to look worse and worse.
Yeah. Well.
And then you got the Bengals. Weren't they supposed to be good?
Yeah. See, that's what happens. You don't expect them to be good. They make the Super Bowl. And then they got all this hype, and they're expected to be good. Maybe Jamar Chase should forget how to catch the NFL footballs again.
Yeah, I mean, they went from Jamar Chase said his hand, like he wasn't used to catching that big of a ball, to having a monster season, and now it's like, all right, Jamar Chase is going to be great. Oh, okay, never mind.
He's okay.
He needs to go back to college ball. Same thing with Joe Burrow. I really thought, I was like, he's a cocky guy, and I think he was going to get swept up in it. But last year, he consistently proved that he was just good, and that he wasn't going to get swept up by it all. I feel like maybe he did. Either that, or they have all those new pieces on the offensive line, and they really whiffed on it.
Yeah.
They tried to improve it, and they made it worse.
They should have just stuck with the ones they had last year.
Yeah. I mean, adding 3 new people, I could see how you have some growing pains, but it's week 5. You should probably be a lot better at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, the Steelers' offensive line's playing a lot better at this point. They know how to defend their quarterback at least.
Yeah. They can't protect him, but they can defend him.
We already talked about Chiefs Raiders a little bit. Derek Carr, as he plays with flags on. And Devontae Adams didn't catch that ball. Get over it. Des Bryant didn't catch the ball. Devontae Adams didn't catch the ball. Yeah, Get over it.
I was about ready to say
that. Do you want to move on to next week? We'll make our picks and
go
over some bet lines.
Yep.
Like, what a shit start to the league. Just atrocious.
Yes.
And it's just another. I kind of know because Carson Wentz is just horrible. His head coach said so. Then he walked it back, but we know.
Yeah,
we all know.
We all know.
But the Bears can't stop shooting themselves in the foot.
No, they can't.
There's no payout here. There's just nothing. Man.
It's Thursday night. Thursday night is I don't know. They need to figure out Thursday nights if it's gonna. How much did Amazon pay for Thursday night football?
Yeah, Amazon paid a lot of money for this shit fest. How many billions did they pay to have the Commanders and the Bears?
Who do you have for this game?
I picked the Commanders, but I almost feel like the Bears.
This is one of these games where I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna choose one.
It is really a toss up. I mean, you look at the bet line; they have it as a toss up.
Mm-hmm. I chose the Bears, and so did Jeff.
Did you? I might change mine just because fuck Washington. And I'd rather root for Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to fall behind you guys. And then we move on to a grade A game.
Yeah, but wait, you know what happens when we close? But you know what happens on Thursday though? If we all choose the Bears, the Bears are going to lose.
True. Are you telling me I got to take one for the team?
Yeah, you got to take one for the team. You already did it. All right. Anyways, Steelers, Bucks. I don't even want to. Let's just scroll past that.
Well, let's go back up for a minute because we're talking about bets. Yeah, I didn't realize you already went back up.
Yeah, it's fine.
So last week they had Kenny Pickett to only throw for 200 yards. He threw for over 300. I can see the same thing happening this. They probably bumped him up a little bit.
Yeah,
but you can still, you can up his yardage too. Because I upped it to 250. I was like, I'm going to up that to 250 and see what that pays. And this is the. I'm in the positive this week.
Wow.
So, and how bad I am at this.
Yeah.
So I actually had a comeback just with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. And Freiermuth let me down because, he got a concussion.
Yeah. Well, you said if you consistently pick Freiermuth in the end, you'll overall win.
Yeah, and so far he's hit on his receptions and his yardage, he has hit every single week except for this week.
Right.
But yeah, I would look at Kenny Pickett's yardage. Also a fun one to hit. Probably not going to happen in this game, but I'll talk about it because this is pretty much the only time I talk about prop bets. Tom Brady is usually on the rushing list for half a yard. And it's usually a positive payout to take him to rush for more than 1 yard. It's kind of a fun one to bet on because 1 yard's not hard to get.
Yeah, no.
But it's going to be the most frustrating yard, especially at the end of the game when he kneels it and they take it away. I've seen it happen so many times. But it's a fun one to bet on. Let's move on to Jaguar.
So what you're saying is you're taking the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I took the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I took the Buccaneers. Jeff took the Steelers. I think Jeff's going to take the Steelers no matter what. I
remember us saying we're going to take the Steelers every week, and then I was like, I'm not going to just keep losing.
Yeah, no. I after last week, I'm like, nope. So Jeff's holding down the fort.
Yeah, I'm play better if you want me to pick you. Jaguars, Colts. Who the hell knows?
I don't know, man. This is another one that I don't know.
The Jaguars own the Colts.
Yes, but it's in Indy.
I was gonna say Jaguars own the Colts in Jacksonville. So the Colts just suck going to Jacksonville. It's a different story when they're playing in Indy. But which team's going to show up? Is it the Colts team that beat the Chiefs? Or the Colts that tie to the Texans?
Nobody knows.
And then you got the Colts of recent that without Jonathan Taylor, their best offensive player, not that you feel that way. And they go out and beat the Broncos, who aren't good.
Would you call that beating? That was like...
they woke up first. The Broncos might never have woken up, but, they managed to find a way to win that game. So with missing crucial pieces, they still found a way to win a game. Yeah. I got Colts here.
I have the Colts as well, and Jeff took the Jaguars.
Jeff's going on the Jaguars own the Colts. It's Jacksonville that owns the Colts.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
So we'll see how it goes.
It's I feel like it's Florida in the – well, I guess –
No, because last year – that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, maybe it's the Florida Heat.
Yeah. But last year, it was the last game of the season.
Yeah, it was January. Like, yeah, Florida doesn't get snow, but it ain't exactly hot.
It's not like it is in the beginning part of the year.
Yeah. Does Jameis Winston return?
I don't know. What were his injuries other than everything?
Yeah, something like that. If Jameis Winston does not return, Andy Dalton revenge game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps the Saints.
I think Jeff's hoping for a revenge game with Andy Dalton because he's choosing the Saints.
Well, who knows what kind of Bengals team's going to show up?
That's true.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals.
I am too.
I take it over on this. I take the over. I think that's an unpopular opinion, but I would take the over. Andy Dalton's going to be a little like, I got to go show what I can still do to my former team.
Do you think that they let Andy Dalton play even if Jameis is ready to go?
No. But so if Andy Dalton, I'm going to go with Andy Dalton's playing.
Okay.
And if Jameis Winston's playing, just take the Saints. Because the Bengals haven't really done anything, and it's in this is really more of a toss-up, and if they're in New Orleans, take the home team.
Right.
But what I think's going to happen here is Andy Dalton's going to want to show that his former team that he can still play, and that's going to score him some quick points. And the Bengals are going to be like, we don't need you. and we're going to show you that we can score more points. And I feel like that's going to get you off to a good 14 to 17, maybe 21 point game to start and then you're pretty much at the over there. And then it's going to peter off. And so what you can really do is I think it's going to score quickly. And they're going to raise that over up. So take the over. They're going to score quick. And then they're going to raise that over up mid-game up to like 55 points. And then take the under of that because it's going to peter out. So you can kind of double whammy it.
Right.
And you'll actually hedge yourself because if you take the over at 43.5 and let's just say they go to 55.5, if you don't make the 43.5, you're going to win the other one. So you'll hedge your bet. And you have a good potential to win both of them.
Right.
Jets Packers. We talked a little bit about this. Do the Packers have jet lag?
You like saying that, don't you?
Well, every now and again, you stumble into something cool. Packers are going through some growing pains at wide receiver.
Yep.
I know Romeo Dubs is my fantasy player of the season, but it's taking. They don't play him the whole damn time, and when he's on the field, he's good. And Christian Watson's a draft bust as far as I'm concerned because he's not that good. Alan Lazard, kind of hard to stay healthy. Randall Cobb's the veteran of the group.
He's Roger's favorite. Must have team.
But this was the first time that they played in London, and I don't think they're used to traveling like that.
Yeah. There is a big fan base for them, though, in London.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. Back-to-back MVP, even though he didn't deserve it. But
anyways,
I can go on a 45-minute rant why Hines Ward deserved it more than
no. We don't. We don't need that right
now.
now.
Really, it's Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor that deserved it more, or Cooper Kupp. But the MVP is just a quarterback award.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more about that, let us know. If you're trying to build around Robin and you're looking for a payout, put the Jets in it. At least take them to cover the spread.
Right.
Because like I said, I think the Packers are still coming off that travel. It's easier. I think it's easier to adjust to a time zone, to fight through a time zone change when you're going there. But when you come back, it's harder to adjust back to real life.
Right.
I'd probably take the under on this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would look for
if it was the Packers of last year, probably say take the over.
Maybe I didn't watch the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday.
Nah.
But that's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Maybe see what Aaron Rodgers had to say. If he seems a little fired up, then it's the Packers. If he seems a little like, meh, I'm not that into it, Jets could pull the upset because Zach Wilson's playing good.
Yeah, this is one of the games that I was on the fence about because last week I chose the Dolphins over the Jets, and that was a terrible pick. But then again, the Dolphins didn't have their starting or their backup quarterback.
Yeah, I took the Packers because I don't believe that Rodgers is a quarterback that loses 2 games in a row.
Yeah. Well, we didn't think Brady was either, and he did this year.
Yes, he did. I'm really thinking about changing it to the Jets. On one hand, I'm also rooting for every NFC team against AFC team because that's the only chance we got at making the playoffs. But I kind of think Robert Saleh has something going on with Zach Wilson in New York.
Yeah. I think he's a good coach. I think.
Did you say who Jeff picked?
I don't think so. Oh yeah, Jeff's lone wolf in this one as well. Jets. Right now, he's lone wolfing it, but we might all go to the Jets by the start of the game. So
you heard it here. Take the Packers. Patriots Browns. I'm taking the Patriots.
We're all taking the Patriots.
So upset special here. The Browns have not. They're playing decent.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to run into a problem that the Lions just ran into, where they have a very good defense, and they can probably shut down the Browns' running game.
Yep.
And Jacoby Brissett isn't exactly a quarterback who's going to win it through the air.
No.
And you never know when Amari Cooper's just going to give up on the year.
I have him on a fantasy team. I don't know which one it is, but I need him. I think it's our league.
Yeah, well, I have Nick Chubb, so I hope I'm wrong. But not enough that the Patriots actually lose, because I kind of always root against the Browns.
Right.
I'm honestly surprised this isn't a push. Because
you said that a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was the Vikings game. You thought it should have been a push. It was not. All
right, it was early in the year, and there's a couple things you always look for in betting, and I was rusty. One of the things is Arizona home or away. The other thing is Kirk Cousins prime timer 1:00.
Yeah,
he gets progressively worse.
Yeah,
Sunday 1:00. Take the Vikings by 40. Monday night, take the Vikings to lose by 40.
40.
There is no in between.
No.
Except for 4:00, where it will be a close 3-point game.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking the Patriots here. I mean, why not? It's a toss-up, really. Browns haven't been playing good. Patriots have been playing good. Zappy I'm full confidence in him.
Yeah.
No reason to doubt his ability to play. And then if I forgot the other guy's name already. I mean, shit, Mac Jones.
Don't they look almost like identical when they're playing, though.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? That's plug and play quarterback position right there. Definitely probably not the over on this one.
No.
Let's move on. Vikings Dolphins. And let's actually just move past it. We'll just say who we took. But I took the Vikings, but I don't know who's playing quarterback. So
we all took the Vikings.
Okay, well, it's 1:00. Vikings. So
be blowout by 40.
Tua came back to practice, but we don't know if he's playing yet.
Right.
If Tua plays, this probably changes. I mean, Dolphins were a very good team when Tua plays.
Yes.
So I could see this being an over. If you get Tua and Cousins in a 1:00 matchup, Tyreek Hill is getting a little frustrated. He's ready to go off. And once he gets a guy who can actually get him the ball, I could see this. I could see this being a high scoring affair. Yeah. Ravens Giants. I think I did take the Giants.
You did?
Yeah. I'm not sure if traveling back from London once again. They've done it before, unlike the Packers, where they
have they traveled back and had to play a game the next week?
I didn't look that far into it.
Okay.
But at plus 220, let's put it on the round robin. I'm willing to give it a shot. The Ravens have a knack for blowing games. They're just coming off a big divisional win.
Yeah,
Like
you and Jeff both took the Giants. I'm lone wolf in the Ravens.
I think it's going to be a close game. Maybe take the Giants spread at the very least. Take the points.
Yeah.
Just because I think they're going to keep it close. I think they have a good defense now. Brian DeBall, he's a good coach.
You mean Dable?
Dable.
You have problems with names, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Might have something to do with the beer. I don't know.
The beer, the whiskey.
Niners Falcons. I think we're all taking the Niners here.
No.
Oh.
Where is that game? Jeff's taking the Falcons.
Of course he is. Well, he's not here to defend that pick. I'm thinking he's got faith in Marcus Mariota. Jimmy G's back with the Niners, man. It's over.
Yeah. Niners to the Super Bowl.
Jimmy G, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuels are back, man. It's done. I think the Niners defense is a little banged up, so maybe take the over. Maybe. I think Nick Bosa's out, so.
I was going to say the Niners look really good against Carolina, but everybody looks good against Carolina.
Yeah, that's not hard. Let's talk about that game. Are the Rams going to look good against Carolina?
That was a good
I don't think they look 480 good against Carolina.
I didn't even try that.
Shouldn't have admitted to him. Should have just kept going. I think we all took the Rams here.
We did. We actually did all take the Rams. You never know with Jeff, though. He could be the wild card.
Yeah. No, it's the Rams. Just the money line here because, well, I don't know who's playing quarterback for Panthers.
It's PJ Walker.
Boy. Flying across the country, just fired your coach. Never mind. Take the points on the Rams. They're probably pissed anyways.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this could be a shit show. The only thing that could stop it is sometimes the players rally after the head coach gets fired.
Yeah.
And it's not like a pride in the team. It's more of a, we got to use Matt Rule as the scapegoat. So we got to all try really hard this week because we got to make it look like something changed.
Right.
But yeah, I'm still taking the Rams here. Yeah, Rams win. Let's move on to the Cardinals. Seahawks have been good at home. Geno Smith is trying to prove something.
Yes.
Originally, when I did this, I got it backwards about the Cardinals being good at home and away, just in my mind.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are away, so they're probably going to win.
Yeah, but you chose the Seahawks.
Yeah, I just changed it.
Ooh.
That's what I was doing. I was looking down here. I was like, I gotta go change this.
So then I'm lone wolfing the Seahawks.
Yeah, you're going to lone wolf it. The only thing that's got me, I'm a little hesitant, and I'll tell you why later in the show. We'll circle back to this a little bit later, but I don't want to ruin the next segment.
All right.
Game of the week here coming up.
Oh God.
Bills Chiefs. That's not my game of the week. It's just the game of the week.
Game of the week. The game of the week.
The AFC Championship rematch. This is the highly anticipated. Well, not the AFC.
Why didn't they make this a night game?
Because Fox pays a lot of money for games. Or CBS probably paid for this one because it's two AFC teams. Yeah, I gotta get something for Tony Romo.
True.
What is Sunday night?
Sunday night is
Cowboys Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jerry Jones makes the schedule. That's why. Yeah, Chiefs Bills. This is gonna be a hell of a game. Everybody is taking the over. So take the under. Everyone's expecting 90 points in this game. So either that's going to happen. So, take an alternative over of like 80 points. Or take the under of this game. Because it's gonna be a slugfest.
Yeah. I mean the last time they played was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what everyone's counting on is a repeat of the playoff game. And everyone thinks Josh Allen is going to go off against the Chiefs. The Chiefs almost lost to the Raiders. The Bills kind of just kicked our ass. They might be coasting now. I feel like it's all set up to fail.
Yeah.
And, we haven't seen the Bills punter a whole lot, but we might see them a whole lot. It's a prime game to be a dud. Not a dud. I don't want to say it's going to be a dud.
Yeah.
I can just see it becoming a defensive battle.
Right.
You're anticipating a high offensive game. This could easily become a defensive battle. Let's go on to our shittiest game of the week. Cowboys-Eagles.
Why is that the shittiest game of the week?
Because anytime the Cowboys are primetime, it's shitty.
Wait, so it's technically not the game. The Bills Chiefs is technically not the game of the week.
Well, technically, it's the game of the week. The 425 is always the game of the week.
That's true.
And then you have Sunday night, which is supposed to be the primetime game, such as like a Chiefs-Bills game. But instead, we get stuck with Cowboys-Eagles because Jerry Jones. Can Cooper Rush keep it going? I think not. I think the Eagles take it.
You're a lone wolf in the Eagles.
You guys have a lot of faith.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not.
Well, if you want to explain yourself, go ahead. Otherwise,
I mean, Cooper Rush has proved himself time and time again this year. I mean, what is it? Was it 4 games? 4 games in a row he's won, and he just beat the Rams. I know we've talked about the Rams not being the Rams of last year, but still,
he's won games, but he hasn't done a lot.
Yeah, but also
he just hasn't lost the games, and the defense is carrying them.
Right, he hasn't lost the games, and the defense is carrying him. But okay, what you don't think the defense will carry him this week?
They're playing a better team. The Eagles are at home.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still sticking with Dallas.
And at some point, the Cooper Rush magic's probably gonna end.
Hey, it'll probably be this week, but oh well.
And I guarantee if Dak Prescott ends up forcing his way back into this game, they totally lose. Cooper Rush, I give him a chance. Dak Prescott, they're going to lose. Let's move on to Monday Night Shitfest.
Oh, my God. Why Denver? Why?
Did we all take the Chargers?
Yes.
Because Russell Wilson committed highway robbery of the Denver Broncos.
But he's hurt. He hurt his. What did he hurt?
His feelings?
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Let Russ cook. Cook up another dud.
Oh, my God.
I was saying it last year before Russell Wilson got hurt and the whole little drama was starting with Pete Carroll and him. It's like they should just trade him. You can get 3 first-round draft picks, just trade him. They ended up with 2 first and 2 seconds.
And they got Noah Fant.
Yeah. And I just feel like Russell Wilson doesn't have a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
They're saying he needs time in the system, and they're blaming Nathaniel Hackett, and screw all that. Russell Wilson hasn't done shit since his second or third year.
Yeah.
Since he decided to try and take over the Seattle Seahawks and not give it to Marshawn Lynch. He has not done anything in Seattle. He's put together some good seasons where it looks like he knew what he was doing, but he always blew it. And he had a little Iron Man streak going on where he wasn't getting hurt, and he was a mobile quarterback, and it kind of all fell apart last year when I was saying that the Seahawks should trade him before he gets too hurt. Wish I would have got that on recording. Because when I'm right,
you're not on camera.
Yeah, I feel like he's done. They tried to recreate the Peyton Manning signing, and it's just not going to work.
So you have any? I don't think we talked about any bets for that game. Is there anything you'd want to do?
The under.
The under.
Denver knows how to just
not score.
Make a game suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on this.
Yeah, one. It's also a divisional game, and usually those are lower scoring.
Yeah, definitely stay away from anything Denver. So yeah, I would just take the Chargers money line and the under, parlay it together. Get you a decent little payout there. I'm a little confused why now that I think about it, I'm not confused because yes, the Broncos suck. But damn, can the Chargers find a way to lose games?
Yes.
They're amazing at it.
This division was supposed to be elite. And now it just looks like the Chiefs are running away with it again.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Russell Wilson is cooked. They let Russ cook, and he cooked himself. The Chargers are probably the most snake-bitten franchise in the NFL. People think it's the Browns. People think it's the Lions. No, because you can trace their bad decisions.
Right.
How the hell do the Chargers keep losing? They're doing everything right.
Right.
They got a good quarterback. They got a good running back. They got good receivers. They got a good defense. They just keep losing.
Right. They got injuries too, but I mean that's part of being snake bitten.
They're a snake bitten franchise. And then you got the Raiders who fired a coach that through a whole bunch of adversity led a team, motivated a team, led a team, and got them to the playoffs where they lost to the eventual AFC champions.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're not going to give this guy a chance. And instead they bring in Josh McDaniels, who has done nothing but fuck over every team not named the Patriots.
Right.
So, yeah, then it leaves the Chiefs.
Yeah. So you want me to bring up all our picks here real quick?
Sure.
I can actually do it real quick. I'm all prepared this week.
Wow. Oh, look at that. You got a nice little...
Yeah.
You got it set so we can see what we all agreed on.
Yeah.
And what we are lone wolves. Man.
Yeah, look at me go. Look at me go.
Man, look at that.
But Jeff likes to be the lone wolf, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to pull ahead.
Yeah.
Chris, you like to go with the flow.
Yeah, I like to go with the flow. I stick with the flow.
And you know what?
I got two lone wolves.
Yeah, but you're
one
trailing behind. You know, I got 3, and then Jeff's leading the pack with 5. So you like to go with the flow.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that this has all leveled out to us being tied.
Yeah.
We are all in a dead tie. I've been trying to find some type of consistency of, if we lone wolf, if we all pick the same team, like when we're right or when we're wrong. There is no consistency in our
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah, no.
I'm always looking for that kind of micro stat. Just, kind of like the Cardinals, kind of like Kirk Cousins. You can usually find it somewhere in how people pick. It's just not here.
Not here. Not here at all.
Do we want to get to our fantasy players of the week?
Yeah, sure. You want to go first?
No, let's let Jeff kick it off.
All right. Well, we'll let Jeff bring it in. Here, come in here, Jeff. Come on.
My fantasy pick of the week is Zach Ertz with the Arizona Cardinals. They're playing the Seahawks this week. Zach Ertz is available for $6,000 on FanDuel, and he is playing the 32nd ranked team against tight ends. So I think it's going to be a good day for him. I do believe they're like 22nd against wide receivers in the passing game in general. So I just think Zach Ertz is going to have a great day, and he's going to get at least a touchdown or two and a bunch of yards. So go for it.
So
Man,
what he's saying is don't go for it.
Yeah, so don't start Zach Ertz, and that's what's bringing me into my next point of always take the Cardinals on the road, but Jeff just took their tight end, so fuck. So do you take Seattle?
Do you want to change your pick back?
I almost do, but I'm so torn. I was like, yeah, Cardinals on the road. Who'd you pick? Damn.
Who are you picking?
I am going to stay on the Pickett train, and you decided to try and talk shit about my guy, but I'm going with my boy Deontay Johnson this week.
Man, that would have been perfect. That's perfect that you chose him this week.
I was gonna pick the Patriots running back Stevenson because the other guy's out, and they're playing the Browns, who have the 30th ranked run offense. But I decided that's a little too easy of a pick. Deontay Johnson is gonna get more targets because one, he's a good wide receiver, and two, George Pickens is gonna start commanding number one coverage. And I think we're about to enter into a great 1A, 1B wide receiver group where Claypool's playing the slot, and you're going to have Pickens and Johnson on the outside, and they're going to have to pick which one they're going to double. They're going to have to pick which one gets the number one cornerback. And one of those two guys is gonna feast every single week. And I think this week it's going to be Deontay Johnson.
All right. I don't care who it is. I just I just want to see some points scored, man.
Deontay Johnson's going to deliver.
Well, I'm getting off the Pickett train this week, where you can only choose so many targets for Pickett without repeating multiple times. So I'm going to go over to Seattle. I'm going to choose Kenneth Walker. He's the rookie over there. Penny got hurt last week, and Walker seemed to be doing really well in the preseason. I'm actually surprised he hasn't gotten more touches. But he is going against the Cardinals. Cardinals are away, but I still think that Walker will do decent this week and get you some decent fantasy points. He's also 6,500 on FanDuel. So
cool. I'm gonna add a sit of the week because I feel like I have a good sit of the week.
Okay,
and I already kind of touched on this. Gabe Davis.
Yeah, he had a good game.
He went off last week. Players who they don't players typically don't have 2 great weeks in a row. He went off last week. Like I already said, everyone's expecting the over, but it could easily crash into an under, into a defensive battle. Also, Isaiah McKenzie's coming back, and he takes some red zone targets, and he's also going to take just a couple. He's going to take some yardage, and he's probably going to steal a touchdown from Gabe Davis. Also, Stephon Diggs typically will go off if Gabe Davis isn't. I think he's a guy that people are like, oh, he's going to keep going, and he's really not. He's going to be one of those guys that if he goes off one week, the defense next week pays attention to him a little bit, and he crashes back down.
Right. All right. Well, here we go. Do you want to? I don't even want to say this, man. Do you want to get into what we want to see from the Steelers this week?
I want to. God damn. I want to not see this.
I don't want to be drunk. I want to be drunk.
This should be the only thing I have to look forward to. Holy shit.
I want to be drunk because we just beat the Bucks, not because we're getting beat by the Bucks.
Yeah, you know what I saw last week and I want to continue to see? Claypool on a couple short throws. It looked good. So that's what I'm looking for, is to see Claypool continue to build in this offense in a role that he can succeed in.
I want to see Harris have a great game. He's been kind of
I think it's time to start throwing around the draft bust.
He's on my fantasy team in one league, and I regret it.
Yeah, I think the idea was the Steelers were going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And they just don't run the ball well.
No, I mean we don't have the greatest offensive line either, so.
You know what else? So Connor Hayward got in the game late last week. And he made some good catches.
Mm-hmm.
He moved the ball. I want to see more Connor Hayward. Fryer Ruth and Gentry are hurt, so we might see a lot more Hayward.
Yeah, we might.
Because we don't have any players.
If you're looking for Steelers start of the week.
Yeah, you know what I'm looking for this week is maybe have a starting lineup, because right now it's a little shaky.
Yeah, we had to. What'd you say? You had to scroll down through the freaking.
Yeah, I gotta zoom in and scroll. This is a little too big. And we also saw Derek Watt playing.
Yeah.
If you want to run the ball, I think Connor Hayward and Derek Watt. I think if you can put those guys in, get Claypool kind of close, because he's a good blocker. He's just a physical guy, as long as you don't go more than 10 yards down the field. You can get the running game going. And if Harris is going to dance back there, put Jaylen Warren in, because at least he knows how to put his head down and run.
All right. Well, I think we're good here. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel here. And Matt, do you want to end us off here with the terrible towel twirl?
Screw that, but I'll polish this off.
Well, all right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Rooney Tunes Report.
Fucking hey. The worst way to drink that. You're gonna put that in the blooper?
What?
Us being little bitches at the end. Bengals Ravens. I felt like that was gonna be a high scoring pick. What are you drinking? Fucking shitty Panthers, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Shitty Panthers. Nobody knows what that reference is, though.